I want to talk to you about Lily MUTAMBO. And I want you to really understand where I'm coming from, because I, by virtue of my age, and I'm very proud to say this, I've had the privilege, and I don't say this boastfully, I say it as a matter of fact. Okay, because, you know, in Zambia, when you say things like, hey, what are you fighting? You see, sometimes you have to explain everything to a Zambian. Okay? I say this as a matter of fact. I've had the privilege, I've had the pleasure over my lifetime to meet and sit and engage one-on-one with every single president since our first president. That means all the way from Hakainde to the current. Now, I'm not saying that I've gone on vacations with them. No, my point is I have engaged with them. I've had the privilege of looking into their eyes and seeing their passion for service for this country. I've seen all of them. But I must tell you that in Zambian politics, I have never in all of my life seen or witnessed the level of hate that comes from members of the Patriotic Front towards Hakainde Hichilema. I've never seen this level of hate. Guys, there's a difference between opposition politics, speaking on the other end of the political divide, because that's democracy, that comes with it. There's a difference between that and downright vile hate for someone simply because you hate them. Before Hakainde Hichilema became president, this whole thing about his tribe, the PF tried everything within their power. They even sent their surrogate. At the time, it was Chishimba Kambwili, it was Chilufya all these people who were sent to disparage HH based on his tribe. The implication was, this Tonga cannot be president of this country. They tried to attach the tag of selfishness, you know, this stereotypical selfishness that people have. No, he's Tonga, that means he's selfish. And he's not. They tried all of these machinations. It was so bad that ECL himself, the former and sixth late president of this republic, ECL himself famously said, surely one day we're going to have a Tonga president, but not this Tonga. What's wrong with this Tonga? No, we are going to have a Tonga president, but not this one. Everyone except this one. Really? Any reason why? No, just anyone but this one. The Zambian people saw through that. And can I tell you what made it even more sinister? And this is a shroud, a covering, a camouflage that ECL used to use to justify his position. And it's this. Do you know that ECL could speak Tonga? From what I understand, ECL could speak Tonga quite fluently. I mean, he could carry out a Tonga conversation quite well, from what I understood. And every so often he would use it in an attempt to demonstrate that he's not anti-Tonga. But here's the caveat. Everyone down here knew that the Tonga language to the PF supporters equals UPND. Therefore, UPND is the enemy. So in their minds, they viewed the Tonga language as an enemy. Are you following? Down here, in the market, in City Market, BH, Chainda, during the PF, you couldn't speak Tonga. The president could speak it. But you, walking through the market, if you were heard speaking Tonga, PF cutters would surround you. Mwewa, how do you know this? I saw this every day. And you can't lie to me. I've been here for 38 years. I know the topography. I know the layout of this land like the back of my hand. Nobody can lie to me about that. In those days, if you spoke Tonga, you were queried. Fish mlechta. Why? Mano? Are you trying to infiltrate our minds? That's the accurate translation of that English phrase, of that Bemba saying. Are you trying to infiltrate our psyche, our minds? Are you trying to taint us? Are you trying to contaminate us with the UPND message by coming here and speaking in Tonga? Oh, they would take you to task. And there would be no one to assist you. No one to help. There was no one to rescue you. You were literally on your own. And you were at great pains to explain that, no, I'm just speaking. You had to convince them why you were using your language. It's your language. It's like someone coming to me and saying, why are you speaking Bemba? My natural response would be, well, it's my language. That's my daddy taught it to me. My mother taught it to me. What do you want me to do about that? It's where I grew up. No, you can't speak Bemba here. Why? No, you see, that was the level of thinking of the PF. Now, I'm going somewhere with this. Now, fast forward to the present, to the current. You have a young dissident in the name of Francis Kapwepwe. And I've said this and I'll never stop saying this. The name Kapwepwe that hangs on Waimi's shoulders is too honorable, is too heavy, it's too colossal, it's too full of honor and patriotism to hang on that chap's shoulders. Francis Kapwepwe, aka, otherwise known as Waimi. His entire digital existence is predicated, is based, is founded, is anchored on preaching this message against Tongas and perpetuating this idea of separatism, tribalism. If you look at Waimi and think he's inconsequential, you are sadly mistaken. If you look at Waimi and think that he's of no consequence, he's just a chap who's ranting on Facebook, in his Facebook chat, tread carefully. That is how the Rwanda genocide began. Just from that. It takes one spark to ignite an inferno. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep there, boy. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Let it marinate in your soul, my brothers and sisters. Let that bubble in your oblongata. It takes a spark to ignite an inferno. Oh, it's easier, my brothers and sisters, to snuff out a spark. It is near impossible to put out an inferno. The reason 6 million Jews were killed in Nazi Germany was because of a seed that was planted in Adolf Hitler's mind. The reason I'm poor is because of those Jews there. The reason I don't have what I want is because of the Jewish people. That seed is what germinated into the Holocaust. 6 million Jews died because of a seed. Do you see where we're going? You see where this is headed? So when you hear people like Lily Mutambo disseminate false, baseless information, you remember it. Lily Mutambo famously said, and I quote, "I am reliably informed that Why Me has been killed. He's been murdered." That was the word she used. He's been murdered. Now, a little engagement here, and I mean this when I say this. Can I ask you, when you hear Lily Lunatic Mutambo say that, when she creates those lies, because that's what they are, they're lies, it's not true, why do you think she does that? What do you think her goal is? What is the motive of Lily Lunatic Mutambo creating such a big lie when she says, Why Me has been captured and he has been murdered? Tell me, why do you think that is? I'll read a couple of your comments just to get context, because I really want us to walk through this. I want to read some of your comments here. Okay. I'll just read one or two of your comments. Okay. The question is, what is the motive? What do you think the motive would be for Lily Lunatic Mutambo to fabricate such a huge, colossal lie? What would be her motive? Perfect. Jane. How do I pin this comment? This is the answer. Jane Chona, to cause civil unrest. That's the motive. Never mind that she's paid. Never mind that. But the core motive is for her to cause civil unrest. Hear me when I say this to you, and please grasp what I'm trying to communicate. There's nothing patriotic about that. Lily Mutambo is the type of person, because she hates HH so much, she would be very happy to see Zambia embroiled in a civil war for her amusement. Trust me, if Zambia broke out in a civil war based on tribe, the likes of Lily Mutambo would fold her arms and they would laugh and dance with glee, while they're sitting in Hertfordshire, in Leeds, on Regent Street, over there in the Thames, the London Eye, the Houses of Parliament, the House of Lords, while she's crossing the bridge on the River Thames. Zambia's burning because of tribal conflict. Lily Lunatic Mutambo is the type of person that would be so happy. Oh, she would dance. And she would say, I knew it. I knew it. Not a bone of patriotism. And yet this is a woman that calls herself a Christian. The Apostle Paul wrote to Timothy in 2 Timothy 3:5, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. The devil incarnate slew foot in person is that lady. This is my worry. And hear me when I say this, and I want to tread carefully here, because I'm about to share something with you that we as a nation have to begin to pray about. We need to start paying attention to this. Every citizen has to be vigilant to protect the sanctity of our nation as a nation, to protect and pray for our leaders, because they are our leaders right now. The level of hatred that PF surrogates have reached through conduits like Lily Lunatic Mutambo, there's another lady called Boss Lady Voice or something from England. There are 3 women. These are cult leaders. These are political cult leaders who are recruiting people on Facebook and TikTok, galvanizing an ideology of hate. Not political difference, no. There's a difference. I want you to understand. I'm not talking about having an opposition political mindset. That can be understood if not condoned. Democracy calls for that. To have a divergent view is not a problem. But to be so sinister, to be so full of hate, to be so full of rancor and malice, to the point where you wish harm on the head of state. Brothers and sisters, ooh, that's dangerous. Mwewa, how do you know this? Oh, just spend 2 minutes. Lily Lunatic Mutambo has a TikTok group. The level of hate, the level of PF rancor in that TikTok chat. When you hear it, it's almost unbelievable. There are people that hate HH because of that woman, because she has mentally recruited them. I'm not saying everybody should love the president, but why hate? Why not disagree? Martin Luther King once said it's possible to disagree without being violently disagreeable. I can disagree with you. I don't have to hate you. I can disagree with you. I don't have to wish you harm. And yet, this slow-cooked recruitment, people are not paying attention to it. There is a core group of PF dissidents that have been recruited by these 3 women that are indoctrinating them to the level where they can even pay people to harm the head of state. That is where we are as a people. If you don't pay attention to that and simply dismiss it as politics, disagreement, being a dissident political participant, brothers and sisters, you're sadly mistaken. Not in this dispensation, not with what we are witnessing now. This woman is dangerous. These women are dangerous. This ideology is dangerous. We have to be vigilant. The main reason Lily Lunatic Mutambo comes up with these flights of fancy, these lies of why me being killed. She even went as far as saying there were 4 UPND officials. Notice how she'll never mention the officials because she doesn't know. Because it's not true. She's just making it up. These are people that take lies and they magnify them. Take a little small lie and turn it into a big lie. The lunatic Mutambo is very good and very adept at focusing on attention on other people's shortcomings. And yet she chooses to ignore hers. And the reason she highlights your shortcomings, anyone, especially women, she loves to, if a woman talks bad about her, she talks about the woman's husband. Yeah, that's why your husband is cheating on you. She doesn't even know anything. She's just throwing it out there just to create conflict in that marriage. She has no data on anyone. She just she takes a little piece of meat, a little tiny smidgen, and then turns it into a steak. Why? Because she's the queen of division. And yet, if you look at her personal life, it's a mess. Her professional life, in doldrums. Lily Mutambo is in criminal court all the time. She brought Zambians to the UK, charged them money, promised them jobs that they never saw, got money on false pretense. She owes the British government more than £33,000 in statutory obligations and fees that as a company you're supposed to pay. How do you know this? Guys, companies in England, that's public knowledge. As long as you've got a registered company, that's public knowledge. There's nothing secretive about that. And yet, she's on a high horse, talking about this, that, and the other. A marriage that doesn't function, has no time for her children, no time for her husband. The reason she's on TikTok, the moment she does a Facebook Live, immediately she goes on TikTok. She will spend 3 hours on Facebook, 2 hours on TikTok. That's 5 hours of live coverage every single day. You know why? Because her pages are monetized in the UK. So for her, it's a source of income to try and start paying back what she owes. She has to do it. She has no choice. It's sink or swim for her. She said, why me was killed? He was murdered. That's not true. Why me yesterday went to court. And here's the telltale sign. Follow me. Here's the telltale sign of a cult leader. Remember, Lily Lunatic Mutambo's constantly talking about spirituality. Having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. The devil incarnate. She comes through like a ravenous wolf dressed in sheep's clothing. Her modus operandi is to get close to you, gather as much information from you as possible, and then turn around and stab you from the front. Lily Lunatic Mutambo never stabs you from behind. She stabs you in the chest, standing in front of you with a broad smile. Sinister. Demonic. The devil. Jezebel. When the news broke out that Waimi was not killed, was not murdered, because she said he was, remember what she said? No, that was me putting pressure. Without my pressure, it wouldn't have come out. The police were denying. The police never denied. Let's be clear. On June the 10th, 2025, the police spokesperson was contacted and asked, do you have Waimi in your custody? Ray's response was, as I'm standing here now, I don't have that information. Keep in mind, being a police spokesperson, you can't speak off the cuff. You can't. Those are sensitive positions. When you speak, the whole nation listens. So if your information is wrong, it's not like you and I. You think Ray Hamonga, the police spokesperson, you think he can just be talking anyhow. When you contact him, as they did on June the 10th, 2025, we hear and understand, Kuti, why me has been placed under arrest. What was his response? He said, as I sit here now, I don't have that information. I don't have it. How is that a denial? A denial is different from saying, I don't have that information right now. That was his response. There's Binwe Mpundu. Binwe lost Mpundu, talking about the police denied. When you know very well he didn't deny anything. He simply said, at this stage, I don't have that information. And besides, the police, let me tell you something about the police. When it comes to criminal activity, the police don't always show you their cards when they're trying to get to the bottom of a crime. They don't have to tell you everything. They don't. Why? Because they're trying to get to the bottom of a crime. What's the point of calling the police and immediately the police spilling everything that they know in the name of transparency? No. That's not how the police works. And you know that. And so, when it came out that Waimi was alive, Lillian MUTAMBO very quickly, again, trying to draw attention, shine the light on her. No, it was because of me that Waimi was Vali Sokoloka. If it wasn't for my pressure, Waimi would be dead. You see how she deflected attention? Cult leaders, which is what Lillian MUTAMBO is. She is a spiritual, political cult leader. She has control, mind control over her followers, not from a supernatural point of view, but from an influential point of view. She's so conniving that her followers will do anything they say, will do anything she says, even if it means paying them to harm someone else. That's what's happening. That is what is at stake. Miles Sampa. And let me say one last word on that. Lillian MUTAMBO, even when caught in inaccuracy, even when caught in a lie, will never apologize. Never. You will never hear one word of apology from that skank. You will never hear one word of apology from that Jezebel. You will never hear one apology from that devil in a dress. Never, not once. You know why? Self-righteousness. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. Lastly, Miles Sampa. Miles famously said his daughter was a fan of Waimi. Now, let me tell you why that's disturbing. Miles Sampa has some of the most beautiful children you've ever met. Those kids, from the first one to the last, the most beautiful children. The girl that Miles Sampa is referring to, the daughter, of course, Miles is lying. He doesn't know what the hell he's saying. He was just using politics to try and drive a point. But he doesn't know what he said. The little child that Miles Sampa was referring to, there's not one fiber in her body that can even remotely gravitate towards tribalism. Olo one. Olo de. The child is such a wonderful child. And for Miles to insinuate and to imply, Kuti, my daughter is a big fan of Why Me, implying that his daughter is a big fan of tribalism. Woofy. You are talking politics and you are speaking nonsense. How dare you? How dare you implicate a beautiful child in such nonsense and rigmarole? There's not a fiber, there's not a bone of tribalism in that child. How dare you insinuate that? Miles has now said, well, my whole election as PF president was fraudulent. It was a fraud. The whole thing was a hoax. You're a hoax. You are a hoax. You have no political stamina. You have no political dexterity. You don't have any political foundation. That seat that you hold in Matero is fraudulent. Everything about your political career is based on a lie. It's fraudulent. Do you understand that? God give us men and women that love this station so much that they are obvious patriots. Patriotism is not just a word. You see that flag there? Fly it high and fly it proudly. Protect this. The nation comes first. This country comes first. Not your political agenda. Not your PF agenda. Not your PF machinations. Not your recruiting people to hate the head of state so much so that you are willing to pay people to harm the administration physically. That's dangerous. Keep an eye on them. Their machinations are not going to work. Greater is he that is within me than that's within the world. I am persuaded that he's able to keep that which I have committed unto him against that day. This nation is going to survive your machinations. It will live beyond you. It will survive beyond the PF agenda, which is divide and conquer. The Zambian people see through you, and you're not going to get away with it. Now you run and tell that. All right.